not going to put a timetable on it right now because we're focused every day. Because we're focused. No, because we're focused. Yeah, but we're focused every day, and as our Chancellor and all of us in the Treasury and across government, getting inflation down. And look, the Chancellor has spoken to all of her cabinet colleagues and said, look, everyone in the government needs to focus on getting inflation down, and that's why the whole government, not just the Chancellor doing it through the Treasury, as crucial as that role is, it's also all of our cabinet colleagues. We all need to play a part in getting inflation down. We know that inflation is having an impact on families across the country. We know that a lot of families are finding life tough, and that's why every day in government we're focused on getting those costs down and putting more money in people's pockets. It's intensely frustrating, these last-minute attempts to frustrate the deportations from going ahead. We've got people detained, ready to be deported, and we want them to be deported imminently. Now, you asked if we're challenging what's happened in the last couple of days. Absolutely. The Home Secretary made very clear that she will fight every step of the way. She will stand up for the British public's interests in court. Because she's determined, as we all are in government, for these deportations to go ahead. It's very frustrating these last-minute, vexatious attempts to stop it from going ahead. You can know from the Home Secretary, Shimana Mahmood, how determined she is, on behalf of all of us as government, to make sure that these deportations go ahead imminently. And that's why she's standing up for British people and fighting this every step of the way. So what I mean by that? Yeah, so what I mean by that is people who've been detained pending them being deported, and so they're being detained. So we know there are people there who we want to get on those flights as quickly as possible, or to go ahead imminently. As I said, there's been this legal process in the last couple of days, which is intensely frustrating. It's really frustrating for all of us in government because we want to get on with implementing this deal, and that's what the Home Secretary is going to do on behalf of the government, and she's challenging this, fight this every step of the way to make sure that these flights go ahead. Thanks so much. Hello? Yes. Hello. Oh, yeah. Vehicle battery after that. Yes, I can, yeah. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Hi, good morning, Nick. Well, as you know, Lord Manderson was moved from his position on PMs or the evidence that he did last week. But the deal today, the investment announced today, £150 billion. This is a seriously big package of investment. This is a real vote of confidence in our economy. And it's a fantastic deal to announce, and it's a fantastic set of investments right across the country. Can I talk a bit about some of the investments that we're going to make? Well, look, as I said, he was removed from the position last week, and I don't know any further details beyond that. Well, it's a deal which is being announced today, a deal which has been signed this week. The Prime Minister is signing the tech partnership. We're announcing all this investment, the deal around nuclear energy. There's a huge number of aspects to the deal which is being announced today, the partnership between the US and the UK. But as I said, the issue with Lord Manderson was dealt with last week. So I don't know. I haven't been in the rooms as these deals have been constructed. I'm seeing what the benefit for the British people is of these deals, and I'm seeing what the benefit is going to be in terms of investment across the region. Can I give you an example, Nick, of some of the investment we're talking about? Yeah. Okay. So, for instance, there's a US company called X Energy. They're going to be working with Centrica, who are British Gas, and they're going to be investing in up to 12 advanced modular reactors. That's the small nuclear power reactors. Now that's going to be near Hartlepool, is where they're going to be made. This is going to produce enough energy for 1.5 million new homes, 2,500 jobs, billions of pounds added to the economy. That's the kind of investment we're talking about. There's a lot more investment in the 150 billion, but I just think that's a good example to bring home to people. What does this really mean? We talk about these huge numbers. There's obviously a huge vote of confidence in the economy. People want to know what it means for them. So when we're talking about investment in different parts of the country, Hartlepool that I just mentioned, when we're talking about energy, we're talking about jobs, we're talking about a better economy, that's what this really means for people in Britain. So look, some of this will happen almost immediately, and the rest will happen over the next 10 years. So this is obviously a really big chunk of money, a really big amount of investment, £150 billion. Some of it will happen very, very soon, but some projects are sort of ready to go. Others are longer term investments over the next 10 years. Well, what we've done as a government is make sure that we are fighting for the British national interest at every turn. And what the Prime Minister has done with President Trump is built on the long-lasting, special, strong relationship between our two countries to get a deal, to make sure we're getting more investment from the US and into the UK. That is about championing the British national interest and getting the best deals for the British people. And it's for all of our benefits because we've got more jobs and investment here and it makes people better off. Well, look, we accept where we are in terms of Brexit having happened, and we will make the best we can in the situation we find ourselves in. Now, we found ourselves in a situation where we're going to the US, and actually, I think we've done fantastic work to find that really
Yeah.
Well, what he's right about is that we need a lot more energy in this country to support a lot of new technologies as well as existing industrial processes and, of course, families and households. Now, one of the things that we've spoken about is the advanced modular reactors, the small nuclear power reactors, and that's those 12 power reactors I spoke about produce energy from 1.5 million tons. And part of what we're announcing with the US is a deal around accelerating nuclear energy. So nuclear energy is a really important part of the mix, but making sure that we're energy independent and bringing down bills in the long run. And what the deal does is if, I'm going to say something, to make this a concrete example, what it means is if a particular technology has passed rigorous safety standards in the US, it's being approved in the UK happen more quickly. So that means that it speeds it up. Because we've got this partnership, we can speed things up and we can get more affordable, more secure, more independent energy for people and businesses across Britain. Well, our energy approach is focused on nuclear, wind energy, solar energy. We're not planning to increase our reliance on fossil fuels. Part of what we're doing is moving away.
Hello, Brendan. Yes, I can.
Well, that's not our intention, but our plan is to move to renewable, independent energy sources.
Lovely, thank you.
No, but I accept it's intensely frustrating, and there is no one more frustrated than us in government. Siobhan and the Home Secretary has expressed their frustration very clearly, and she said, look, we're not going to let these vexatious last-minute attempts to frustrate
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
These deportations have to happen imminently. The Home Secretary is going to be fighting these challenges every step of the way, standing up for the British public in court, because we want this deal to go ahead. We want these deportations to happen imminently.
So now you fan who's not going to cut his hair.
Yeah, I've seen him on what is until they've won 3 games in a row?
5.
Five games. That's literally like a last minute. That's a 3-man at my time. Never going to work.
Liverpool. You're so jealous.
Including last night. How about you? You're on the up again. I'm quite Disney.
Yes.
This deal, we're not going to be frustrated.
Really?
Do you think I should put the microphone literally straight on? Oh, of course. You're not. So this is not being used at all.
Just holding it.
No. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. We've changed the mic. Let's see if it's better.
That's shocking to say. I don't know the detail.
All right. Teas is the same, I'm assuming.
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, I mean, playing okay this season. We keep playing like this season. We're actually going to draw or lose some games soon. But,
You're right back at this. I'm hearing the story for the first time, but what's really crucial is to make sure that we have a silent system which is secure.
It's higher. The camera higher? Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I thanks, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.
yeah, well, there you go. They lost in the league.
Have from a certain angle. Sorry. Remember what? Sorry?
QR code.
I will do my best.
So I actually think it's
they look
it
rubbish.
hasn't been happening under this government. My understanding
They
is
look rubbish
it's
against Arsenal on
pretty
Saturday
much
as well. Forest.
but they introduced the relationship with this organisation and it's not something this government has been involved with. That's my understanding of that. All of the, you're talking about advice being given out by this charity, and my understanding that advice is not being given out under this government. This is a thing the previous government was involved in. I think they, I don't know if it's something they're trying to be back on, but they might also be called maybe the government. Maybe they weren't aware of it. Maybe they were not much delivering.
Thanks.
Triple lock is in our fully central Parliament. Triple lock is protected with us, and you've seen that decision been taken already. Great, thank you. Cheers, thanks a lot. Cheers, thank you.
From pomp to politics, the Donald Trump has been put in the best possible mood by that incredible greeting from the royal family. Will it help to get us a better deal, perhaps on steel? And how is that press conference going to go when there's potentially some very tricky questions coming their way?
Keir Starmer will welcome President Trump here to Chequers as yesterday's royal bonanza gives way to talks on trade and foreign policy.
No more grand than your average Premier League footballers.
Oh yeah, I see, yeah. Probably a bit classier.
Buckingham Palace.
Hello. Yeah. Sounds great. Thanks. The sort is in the second answer, right? Yeah. Thanks. That works. Of course. Yeah. Cheers.
Good morning. Yes, we are all hovering here, tons of media, because the US President will arrive at Chequers, the Prime Minister's country home, later this morning. Of course, he had the most incredible time, didn't he, at Windsor? Those photographs of him stood beaming from ear to ear with the King and the Queen, and him saying that it was truly one of the highest honours of his life. So all that to put him in the best possible mood for conversations here, talks about trade. The government very keen to trumpet this £150 billion of US investment coming our way, lots of it to do with AI. Of course, we don't know what we're going to have to give in return for that yet. Also, of course, the thorny issue of steel and aluminium tariffs. We expected those to have gone by now. It was announced months ago. They're still at 25%. They seem to be stuck there, but Donald Trump did say, but just before he got on the plane the other day, I'm into helping them. So they will be hoping. Number 10 have just told me there are still negotiations ongoing about those. Also, they'll be talking about Ukraine and Gaza. They would like, the government would like much more movement from Donald Trump on those. And then, of course, there will be the press conference, and I think that really is the moment of peril for the Prime Minister. He's had a very, very rocky couple of weeks. He will want it to go well, but Donald Trump, let's face it, loves the cameras, loves to freewheel. You do not know what he's going to say. And there's a couple of things that I think could prove very tricky. Free speech is one of them. MAGA seems to be very concerned about free speech in this country. That could be tricky. And also, of course, the E word. Jeffrey Epstein. Only last week, the Prime Minister was forced to sack our US Ambassador Peter Mandelson over his links to Epstein. There's also awkward questions for Trump that he does not want to answer. I think it's a dead cert that will be raised, so that could be very difficult this afternoon. We will have a snap analysis of the state visit on our GB News newsletter. To get that, just scan the QR code on screen or go to gbnews.com/news-newsletter.
As you say, a 25-year-old Eritrean man has managed to block his removal, at least for 14 days, so that he can provide evidence that he is, as he claims, a victim of modern-day slavery. A little earlier on this programme, we asked James Murray, who is the Chief Secretary to the Treasury, about this. Well, the government has intimated strongly that they planned all week to get flights taking off for France. That clearly hasn't happened so far. They will hope that this appeal gets fast-tracked and this particular Eritrean man can be sent to France. But more generally, this has become a test, I think, of the government's competence on such a fraught issue, which of course bedeviled their Conservative predecessors. And are those flights going to take off this week? Well, the government still says so. It's Thursday. Cheers. Thanks. I'm assuming I'm not wanted by the child, because all the way through that, it's quite distressing. The channel was playing a clip from my 7th hit. No, I wasn't hearing it. I just mean I could see my own mug down there. Have you got a picture on this? Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Thank you. Cool. So, same at 9, yeah?
Yeah.
Lovely, thank you. I hope there might be some breakfast. Why don't you go down? Someone say any pizza.
Yeah. Right. Hello again, Nick. Should I say hello again? Can I say hello again? Hello again, Nick. Yeah, that's right. So a former Labour councillor has been charged with blackmail and 5 communications offences in relation to a total of 85 victims working within politics in connection to the Westminster Underground. Okay. Oliver Stedman, he's the former councillor I was just talking about. He's 28, he's been charged with 1 count of blackmail in relation to alleged unwarranted demands for the telephone numbers of up to 12 individuals and to faces 4 other communications offence charges. Communications offence charges in relation to 4 other victims relating to the sending of alleged unsolicited indecent images. So today's charges yesterday. So yesterday's charges come after the so-called Westminster Underground. Westminster Underground men aged between 18 to 20 years old, some aged between 18 to 20 in and around
Yes. Okay. Sorry. That's right.
received unsolicited invitations sometimes planned, sometimes a woman. The messages often claimed that this person out, which I would have met the person they were messaging before even intended. In some cases, after passing the ground.
Callum, have you been messaging Caroline pictures? Yeah, I know. Spy. know, it's so nice. Does my hair look less insane? I am. It's so hot. It's so windy. Does it look like it's sort of flying all over the place again?
Yes.
No, it's a legally contentious lie. If I fuck up, I could ruin entire court case. So, doing it straight. No pressure. Thanks. Okay, well, I've got nowhere to go next, so I'll just be there.
I've spotted any of my colleagues yet, but Robert Peston is going to us. I'm sure he'll be able to say we last more.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm like the
Should we film my social media afterwards? I don't know what to say.
Do you feel like with me?
Yeah,
It's like supposed to be behind the scenes of Chequers, but obviously I don't think it's really. Yeah, yeah. 1.5 minutes. 9 seconds. I can make it shorter, Clive, if you want. That's fine. Thank you. Morning again, Nick. That's right. So a former Labour councillor, as you say, has been charged with blackmail and communications offence in relation to a total of 5 victims working within politics in connection to the Westminster honey trap case. So the former Labour councillor's name is Oliver Steadman. He's 28 years old and he's been charged with 1 count of blackmail in relation to alleged unwarranted demands for the telephone numbers of up to 12 individuals. And he faces 4 further communications offences charges in relation to 4 other victims relating to the sending of alleged unsolicited indecent images. So this charge is coming after the Westminster honey trap scandal, where some men aged between 18 and 40 years old in and around British politics received unsolicited, flirtatious messages from 2 members, purporting to be someone called Abby or someone called Charlie. The messages often pretended that Abby or Charlie had met the person they were messaging before, and in some cases, after the person replied, they would then receive a sexually explicit photo, and then in some cases, those people reciprocated those photos. The then Conservative MP, William Bragg, he resigned the party whip in April 2024 after saying he'd given the phone numbers of fellow MPs for a man he met on a dating app. So, Mr Steadman was a Labour councillor. He resigned in May of last year, a month after these revelations came to light. He's also suspended as a Labour member after the party was notified of his arrest in June 2024. And he is set to appear at the Westminster Magistrates' Court on Monday, the 3rd of November, for a first hearing. Yes, Nick, that is correct. Yes, last year. It's a very good moment. I don't know what to say.
Very well.
So, yeah. What's the for look him back over there straight away?
Yeah, exactly.
Look. And that the beast isn't actually there. It's just like, you know, support vehicles. You know, but I just the road otherwise,
Gary, but obviously we didn't come in, I did.
Right. Which one do you do?
Yeah. So yeah, I just one down there, so not the camera side, but the lighting is here. You've got
yeah, I just went there. I was going to set there. I was thought, go. So, I got some still. I'm not ECM in there.
Well, there are two ECMs there.
Oh, in the bag. Oh.
So the reason wildlife and also potentially taking away fly.
Okay.
So you could potentially use it like to do a bit better. My understanding is wildlife and not food, so we don't need to worry too early. The plan was the wildlife is all the same, but they don't seem to do it. So you use whatever might be best for you.
Probably put ECMs on them, to be honest. Unless it's going to get really silly busy. Oh, the judge, you're right.
Yeah, how are you?
Well.
There's only one set of calls coming in here. Oh no, there's two now. They're one.
Okay, one thing to the. Yeah, they're headset to ECM, so to the bag.
Yeah.
Are you using them or are you?
No,
you've got some. Yeah, that seems fine. I'm hoping Gary does, yes.
Are you doing Gary?
Yes.
What would your operation be?
And if I stand on those penny cases like here, so he knows if he goes back, it's exactly the same bit. Good idea.
yeah, I've got down the line or not.
No, and one on it either.
Put that like that. They ain't going to get no fees, so they can't have it. They ain't going to work. It's not here yet.
You can put it off the radio mic to put it off the radio perhaps. I think it's the same on Sony.
We've got this.
Yeah, no, that needs to go over the bigger fluffy so it won't. That might go back. No, neither case had any. That one and there, that was it. Take off the radio mic from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just do that on the headset then really. Sorted. That's the morning bit. Is it or? Yeah, adjusting it to every hour a new belt.
Yeah, no, it's fast on what we're doing. Usually you're not
Thank you, Chris.
and I don't think you're going to get a signal.
Yeah, got it.
Well, we've got
Oh.
Tell you what, you want to grab that one? Yeah, apparently there's two mics over here, both got it. Take one off there.
Only one, yeah, you say one right now. I'm not expecting a guest just yet. Well, it's very, very, very loose. Yeah, it's a loose amount. Alright, I'll just have it facing up.
There's a tiny bit of gap in support around it. Perhaps you'll get one show then.
I'll risk it, I'll just point it
It
up.
will be mean that people get nervous about it.
I'll try and see what plugs on it.
Thanks.
It's not out of track. Stay in the hotel?
No, I drove from home this morning. Yeah, I was kind of moving to the hotel. A little bit nicer. I've got that kid that way. It's streaming all day long, so I kind of really need to not to bring the kid in. Drive away from us, all the way here. Morning, hey! Nice to see you. You too, mate, you too. You've been at Windsor yesterday? Is it all...
No Windsor.
Oh.
How about you? Were you there?
No, my first day on shift today, so I'm driving for today. No, I'm missing them. I'm doing nights. I'm missing all my weekends taking nights at the moment, so... I did 1 or 2. I did all 3 last year, so by the last one it was a lot. It was almost overkill for me. Yeah.
Yeah, you were the early Cambridge guys.
Yeah, I was. So going nice.
Fine, you didn't tell me at the time. You've got a year's amnesty now.
Well, that is close access, isn't it?
Oh, you've got a little table extra idea, love that. It worked. Oh my god. I've seen aerial photographs of from that side, the orange room. Sorry, okay, sorry.
I know, it's so nice. Well, that's what I was saying earlier. Hello, Dave. Nice to see you. How are you doing? Don't worry.
Just there, sorry.
Too much.
Come over, sorry. Which year is it?
Just to let you know, so we're quite close.
Yeah.
We might be a bit loud, so just make sure that you can hear properly
Okay,
and all
right,
of
yeah.
that, okay?
No, yeah.
We took to Minster, please. So down to
Hello. Yeah, very well, thanks.
Hi, yeah, I can hear you, yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Okay. Great, thank you. Yeah. Oh, yes, yes.
Just noticed there's a whole second building down there. That's what I mean, like a sort of wing.
Yeah, some kind of orangery or something.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. Sure. Great, thanks.
So Keir Starmer will welcome President Trump here to Chequers as the royal bonanza is followed by serious talks on trade and foreign policy.
Good morning. Well, you're right that today is going to be about the £150 billion of investment coming from the US to the UK as part of the deal and part of the work the Prime Minister's been leading with the US. And, you know, I think it's really important to emphasise what a big package of investment this is. It's a real vote of confidence in the UK economy and in our country, and it will make a real difference to people's lives by creating jobs in different parts of the UK and making people better off. Can I give you one example of the kind of thing we're going to be investing in? There's a US company called X Energy. They're going to be working with Centrica, who own British Gas, to invest in building up to 12 advanced modular reactors. That's small nuclear power reactors. Now these 12 reactors will create energy for 1.5 million homes 2,500 jobs and add billions to the economy. So it's a really important thing. That's going to take place in Hartlepool, bringing jobs and prosperity in that local area. But there will be investments right across the UK. So we talk about big numbers, 150 billion, and it is a huge number, but it makes a real difference to people's lives. Well, look, I hope that the press conference will focus on the investment in the UK, which has been delivered as part of this state visit, because there's so many. Well, look, it's up to journalists to work out what they want to ask at the press conference later, but there's so much to talk about when it comes to the deal that we've done with the US. It's not just the headline £150 billion and all the different ways in which that's going to be invested. There's also a nuclear deal to make sure we can build nuclear power quicker. There's a tech deal, which means that we can use things like AI and quantum computing more efficiently to have medical breakthroughs to help tackle cancer and create new drugs. There's so much people can ask about. It's up to journalists what they ask about later, but there's a lot to talk about in terms of what we've achieved with the US this week.
James thinks you're going to be the last pick.
So some of this investment will happen almost immediately. Some of them are ready to go, in the coming weeks and months. Others will be over the next 10 years, because we're talking about obviously sizable investments here in long-term projects. So it depends on which individual project, exactly when the investment is delivered. But what we know as a government is that a lot of families across the country are finding things tough right now, which is why, whilst at the same time as securing this investment and putting our economy in a better place, we are also taking action right now, boosting the national living wage, extending the £3 bus fare cap, extending free school meals for more children. All of that can help people now, but what we need to do over the medium and long term is to get the economy in a better place, which is why this investment in our infrastructure, in our jobs, in our local communities is so important. Well, look, it's intensely frustrating,
Exactly right,
and I know that the Home Secretary has expressed quite how frustrated she is at this, and we all are as government ministers frustrated by this last-minute attempt to thwart what we were trying to do to stop people being deported. We are determined for the deportations to begin imminently. The Home Secretary has explained how she will be standing up for the British public's interest in court and fighting this every step of the way, because we want these deportations to go ahead imminently, and that's what she will be pushing for to make sure that happens.
But also on foreign policy, where perhaps there will be a bit more tension, certainly on Ukraine, but also on the Middle East, where the UK is likely to recognise a Palestinian state in the next few days. That is something Donald Trump does not think the UK should do. Did he say so at the press conference? Well, it just kind of
there's been a huge amount of work over the last year when the former Home Secretary was in her position, whether that's getting the Borders Bill, getting that introduced in Parliament and beginning to take that through and get that into law, whether that's closing hotels for asylum seekers, whether that's negotiating deals with the French and so on. We've now got Shabana Mahmood as the Home Secretary, and as you can see, she is saying, as a result of what's happened the last few days, she won't stand for it. She's intensely frustrated by it, and she's going to do everything she can to fight it every step of the way.
Deal with France for the first time being able to send at least some people who arrive in small boats back to France. And this week there was meant to be a kind of regular drumbeat of people being removed to France on flights. Well, that hasn't happened so far. The government is appealing the High Court's decision to give at least 14 days for an Eritrean who was meant to have been sent to France yesterday to prove that he's a victim of modern slavery. And a little earlier on the programme we asked a Cabinet Minister, James Murray, about that.
Well, I think really, to be honest, what has happened in this case makes a mockery of our laws and of our country's generosity. I think, as I understand it, this individual has decided, they're a modern slave at this late stage, despite having never mentioned that before. And as I say, it's a mockery of our legislation on modern slavery, which is important legislation. But what this person's done doesn't take that seriously, and that's why the Home Secretary is so determined to take this head on and make sure these deportations can go ahead.
Sorry about that, James. I know it's really hard when you're talking. No, I will be in a second, but maybe it's just congratulations on and I'm talking about what you said on record earlier. As we heard, Freddie and James and Aaron should have said he's over there.
Yes, I have. Thank you. Thank you.
Merci. Hi, sorry, yeah.
That's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. So lovely to see you, and have a lovely, lovely day.
Thank you.
It's not a PA thing.
It's not PA. It's the BBC.
Well, it is like how it works.
No, we're.
I tried to speak a bit more quietly while James was doing it.
We're just,
But you know how it works.
jammed together. Sorry.
Henry, I think you should just come into the line.
Can't really mute the state broadcaster.
That was all right, guys.
Huh?
That wasn't bad. The LBC was a problem.
I'll head over to
Yeah, that's just what he's hanging out there. Send me those things to arrive. Yeah.
Well, the government incredibly happy with this £150 billion investment by US companies coming our way over the next few years. A lot of that in artificial intelligence. Of course, what we don't know is what we are going to have to give in return. But the government say that this is a big win. It's a record-breaking sum of money. But look, the whole purpose of this state visit, the pomp, the pageantry yesterday, is to put Donald Trump into the best possible mood, the best frame of mind to give us a deal, basically, a better deal than we have already. Now, we've already got a better deal than everybody else. The government will be happy to say that over and over again. But of course, the tariffs that Trump is so fond of have made life much harder for us, and particularly in regards to steel. Now, other countries are paying 50%, we're only paying 25%, but we were told that that was going to go down to 0 4 months ago, and it still hasn't happened. Now, Number 10 have told me this morning that those negotiations are still ongoing, and the Prime Minister will meet the President. He will arrive by helicopter, and there will be trade meetings also with investors, and the Chancellor will be here too. And then there will be that big press conference, which could be very perilous for both of them, with some potentially very awkward questions coming, maybe over free speech, maybe over Russia, Ukraine, almost certainly over Jeffrey Epstein, a topic that neither the President or the Prime Minister wants to talk about, but I think almost certainly they're going to have to.
Keir Starmer are almost certain to formally recognise the Palestinian state in the next few days. President Trump doesn't think that they should do so. Whether he will say that in private or in public, I don't think we know, but that was clearly a point of tension.
If they're going to tell...
Yes, definitely, on the part of Downing Street. I mean, you know, they've seen Donald Trump over the past decade in the same way that we have, so they'd be mad not to be concerned. They will hope that President Trump, as he certainly was yesterday, will be on sort of dignified and restrained form. But who knows? And there are areas of sensitivity. Obviously, the tensions between the two leaders, as I mentioned, on policy areas there. There's also, of course, the matter of Jeffrey Epstein. It is still only a week since Lord Mandelson was sacked as the UK ambassador to the US over new disclosures about the depth of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, President Trump is facing his own controversy in the US over his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, albeit prior to his convictions. So it would be a shock to me if at least one journalist does not bring that subject up. How Donald Trump might respond, well, it would be a fool's errand to predict that. Cheers. Right, I'm back in 20 minutes. Maybe before 5 live, but they're putting it on the telly. Gary, right. Well, shall I leave my earpiece stuff on the thing? Yeah, right. I agree. About 20 minutes. Yeah. Sorry. No worries. Thanks for telling me. But yeah, I'll see you in 10 minutes.
None too shabby, Henry. Before you go back, what time are you staying until then?
I'm staying till the end of the press.
Right. So, as we were just figuring, are you going to do it for them 1,800 grand? Oh, don't worry, I'm good. Okay. Alright. So I'm going at 5:30. So you'll stay. Facing out. I've got everything else. sure? I'm going to get another box.
Well, I need to figure it out. So,
I'll go plug it in.
Well, I might get told off for walking over there, mate. Sure. What's up?
Well, it's never stopped us before, has it? Yeah.
Return a favour. Absolutely. Yeah. Correspondent reporting down. Thank you. Yeah, which again makes me think it's more editorial music. Good. Try it. I don't know. It's big enough. I think it's a bit. I just did it kind of 4-6. Really, it's manually dialed it into the 56 and it's a lot better. Try it. Try it. Manually dial it. Like 4-9 still. Right, brilliant. That's the number, isn't it? Yeah. So I wound mine up. Yeah, so probably that's probably about right. It's about 56 here. Yeah. Alright, I might just turn it fine up there.
Technically working fine. No, they're not speakers, they're actually journos, so it's not PA. It's like, so I don't know if you see the output, mate. So we get like a metre each. So BBC there. What happens normally, mate, when you're on Sky years ago, you always get who would go first and leave a gap.
So long as you get 12:30, that's
Yeah, it was alright now, we've got to hit in 10 minutes, we're not on. But maybe our lot needs to think what we're going to do, you know what I mean? But everyone's going to be on pets here, so. Yeah, I have still on at the moment, but yeah. It's a bit underexposed for us.
Yeah, exactly the same.
I didn't turn this one up.
You,
No, sorry mate.
there yesterday as well?
Yeah, it's good.
How was that?
Cheers, mate.
Nice. Yeah.
We'll main position is.
I was off yesterday. Yeah, so well rested. Yeah, just on this. Ben's got the phone on.
I just think, yeah, I think we changed.
It's not like smart dress. Like that means suit. I don't know. I feel a bit overdressed.
No, they might be here for one.
I'm glad I brought a coat.
Thank you.
They don't get any of that. So they should get here at 12:30.
So I did turn that unit on, didn't I? I can't remember if I did or not. Can you hear anything?
Yes, I can hear.
Yeah. I'm here at Chequers, which is behind me, where I'm doing Prime Minister's Day, so I'm close to that up.
No. That was what I was staying out.
I have. Daryl, thank you.
I'm at Chequers, which is right behind me. I'll talk to the Prime Minister today about some of the really important issues that came out of the meeting with I'll post those when I have them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm up here at Chequers. I'm here at Chequers for the visit of US President Donald
Yes,
Trump.
thank
where
you.
I'll talk to the Prime Minister later about some of the issues that they discussed in that building.
I have, thank you, yes. Thank you.
So if you can get 11.5, what are the 600 days?
Thank you.
Well, I just think it's too confusing for the whole system. Let me just, that sounds good out. Well, the reality is, I just need 2 camera positions at one point. No, we both asked after it.
Yes, the President had all the pleasure of that Windsor state visit yesterday. Now down to business here at Chequers, talking about trade, about foreign policy, and of course there's going to be that press conference this afternoon where pretty much anything might happen. Rebecca,
Yes.
you don't have a Bloomberg sub, have you?
No, I can get it probably on my computer.
Because they're basically saying that Trump is. It sounds like they'd be happy to have Karen Pierce back, which begs the question: why on earth did Starmer get rid of Karen Pierce in the first place?
I can check it for.
I mean, I can say. It's saying that Trump is phoning them, which I can't say because I haven't seen it. But the noises from Washington are indicating, being reported.
Hold it for this head, and you can. And when we check it, we can say the next.
Well, we'll
head.
see.
Also QR.
I'll try. Depends if they're going rap in my ear. I'll try. I didn't say it. But, you know, they need to put the QR code up if I'm going to say it and they don't put it up, then, you know, it's a total waste of time.
Have you ever seen a hair clip?
Okay, thank you.
No, that's the style. It won't.
Thank you.
Changing shadows in the background.
Hi, how are you? I'm alright, thanks. For sure. Yes. Sounds good. Great.
Thank you. Okay. Sorry?
They should have took you first, because now you're going to clash with BBC. About Dean on the phone too. Oh, I don't get it. It's like,
Dean said what?
Dean said
Can't do anything about it. Sorry?
They should have took you first, because now you're going to clash with BBC. About Dean on the phone too. Oh, I don't get it. It's like,
Dean said what?
Dean said
Can't do anything about it.
That's all right.
Hi, Nikki.
I said that's about yes.
Well, it's the latter one which definitely mentally was surprising to me. I don't know. That's the answer, I'm afraid. On the seating plan, by the way, he was sitting next to the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, increasing focus on controversy within the Labour Party for his political government and the way that things are going with the Prime Minister. Anyway, I don't know. It's the straightforward and honest answer to your initial question. Well, today is the sort of political day of the state visit. So yesterday was the pageantry and the royals, and let's face it, Donald Trump's been pretty clear that's the bit of the visit that he was most excited for. Today is the more substantive element of things. So if you think of the state visit overall as the UK trying to solidify its warm relationship with the US, I think today is Keir Starmer trying to solidify his warm relationship with President Trump.
No, you absolutely can't. And for all the incredible planning, and I think everyone is agreed that yesterday really couldn't have gone any better, apart from maybe the weather. This afternoon's press conference, I think, is definitely going to be a moment of peril. But let me just run through briefly what we're expecting before that. So, the President will arrive later this morning on Marine Force One, the helicopter. The Prime Minister and his wife came over last night following that state banquet. The Prime Minister will then show the President the Sir Winston Churchill archives, which are kept here at Chequers in Buckinghamshire. We know how much he loves having that bust of Winston Churchill back in the Oval Office. There will also be a Red Devils display. That is the British Parachute Regiment display team. So we had the Red Arrows yesterday, the Red Devils today. Coming back to me or not?
Maybe. But there'll definitely be
A lot of sound.
not least from the
Are they going to come back to me?
because Sir Keir Starmer hasn't taken the questions about it.
Oh, they're not coming back to me. Okay, all right, thanks.
This is worth reflecting on.
I don't know what happened then. Sound
Prime
went.
Minister stood up and was back into the House of Commons and after repeated questioning from many Conservative Party leader was adamant that he has full confidence in Peter Mandelson remaining ambassador to the US. It's only a week since the Prime Minister then reversed calls and sacked Peter Mandelson as ambassador to the US. And still really basic, very brief questions about why he decided knowing
He will arrive in
some degree of association with Jeffrey after his initial
Okay, but he's coming by helicopter, so he'll land somewhere, but you don't get a shot.
I think it's safe to say that he voted.
So he will arrive by car. And it starts about 10 to 11. So I should start up on the beach in case I have to say it starts
silly to imagine that if Donald Trump were coming into the UK today, none of the investment would be happening. Obviously, that's not how these companies think about investment decisions. But it is clearly a big deal and one that the UK government will want to trumpet. I'm sure we'll hear a lot from Keir Starmer about that. I think the other thing that will come up, both in the meetings and then in the press conference, is foreign policy, which is where the UK and the US aren't necessarily that aligned. The strength of the friendship and all of that. And on Ukraine is familiar to us now, but Keir Starmer and various Western leaders would have liked Donald Trump to be much more staunch in his support for Zelensky, for Ukraine in general. And then when it comes to the Middle East, in the next few days, the UK is going to formally recognise the state of Palestine. President Trump does not believe the UK should do that. So will that difference of opinion erupt in public view?
And then others down here. So they're interspersed.
Using the authority of the king and his office, and we know, because he keeps talking about it, that President Trump absolutely loves the monarchy and the royal family. So it would be great for the UK government not to try to deploy the king in the way that they're acting. By the way, another sort of symbolic, Ukraine-related thing worth noting is that it's a standard thing with these visits that each leader will give the other gifts, and the Prime Minister and his wife Victoria are giving Melania Trump, the First Lady, a scarf that's related to Ukrainian children. And that's interesting because President Trump has talked recently about how Melania, the First Lady, is pushing stronger against Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, I know. We just have a live shot. Still we're going to get it.
No, I haven't. It's very unusual. Well-worn broadcaster missing that in somewhere. Very unusual for us to be right now getting the brief on. For example, we'll brief President Trump in just a short while. It's lovely. It's really nice. That's quite so hard.
Okay, ready.
I haven't been invited yet, but I'll do it if they want. If the country calls, I'll serve.
Yeah, you just have a look at So internet, where
Do you have the internet?
Right, so they run it. So now I've got Arsenal on the other going up there, but it's frightening now, so I've asked them to get driving centre, and it turns to price because they've packed it, which means basically
They always cover that there and they need to uncover
they
it.
don't have nothing. Nothing is happening live.
No, exactly, because they do it over there so many times, the NCR. So have a fight with them about not part of those.
I will do.
I've got one of those. But you can't look at them. I don't know if they're right.
But you saw 18 degrees.
Came down to there, and then I thought 18 degrees actually quite good. I didn't actually agree because I've always indicated like I don't think so. But
I need to go back.
oh yeah, I see it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very quickly test it for you. Make sure it's working. One's that side, one's this side. Yeah? There's one there and one here. No, it's alright.
Yes, we're waiting for
Did they say we've had a view on the headline?
might come by bus. I'll be back. Sorry. Yeah. Will you cue me? Yeah. And you'll cue me into the headline. Thank you. Where are you?
You're right, yeah, perfect. And you're perfect, yeah, that's great.
To the headline.
Sorry?
No, let's hang on a bit of pop on the audio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Just one.
Rebecca's got us some bags of food, one for you, one for me, one for her. So that's good. After this.
And I'm Gary O'Donoghue at Chequers, where the Prime Minister will welcome the President shortly for the passing moments of this historic visit. More on BBC News during the day. Lovely.
Oh, sorry. Hi, James. Okay, fine, fine. Okay, so you'll stay on camera and to get the picture. Yeah, you can. Just, that's fine. Do you want to come to me now, very shortly? That's fine. Yeah, that's no problem. All right, thank you. Sorry? Yes, the Donald Trump had all the pleasure yesterday of the pomp, the pageantry, Windsor Castle, the royal family, and today it's business, it's politics. The sense of anticipation here is quite incredible. I got here at 5 o'clock in the pitch dark. Now there are hordes of press, there's a lot of people with earpieces walking around, a load of Americans and big cars toing and froing as well, because this is really what it's all about. Yesterday was about getting Donald Trump in the best possible mood, making him feel as kindly disposed towards Britain as possible. The Royals did an incredible job. Nobody does it better, really, do they? And of course we know that Trump loves the royal family, loves the late Queen in particular, and regards the King as a good friend. Now the Prime Minister, quite strangely, given how different they are, seems to have also struck up a very good working relationship with him. He arrived here last night after the state banquet to get ready, and we're expecting the President in the next hour or so to get here. He will be greeted, then the Prime Minister will show him the Winston Churchill archives which are kept here. There will be a Red Devils display. They are the British Parachute Regiment display team. So yesterday we had the Red Arrows, the Red Devils today. Then President Trump and the Prime Minister will have a bilat meeting, just the two of them, and then there will be the Chancellor of the Exchequer will host a business reception with a lot of those big US investors. Of course, the government very keen to trumpet this £150 billion of inward investment from the United States into Britain over the next few years, which the government says are going to bring 7,500 high-quality jobs across the country. And of course, trade. We are still stuck currently, aren't we, with 25% tariffs on steel, on aluminium, something that we were told 4 months ago was going to go, but they are still there. The President the other day before he got on the plane said, I'm into helping them about the British, so let's see if we have any movement on that. It didn't sound like that was going to come. Also, of course, Ukraine will be under discussion. The government would dearly love for Donald Trump to make good on some of the occasional threats he makes towards Putin and actually do something to punish him. Also, Gaza, a very difficult situation, and we know that the government is likely to recognise Palestine in the coming days, something that will not go down well with the US. But the press conference, I think, could be exceedingly awkward this afternoon. Back in 2019, when it was Theresa May was here, it was quite embarrassing. Donald Trump freewheels. You never know what he's going to say. He loves the television. He loves the cameras. He backed Boris Johnson for the next PM. He said that Sadiq Khan was a stone cold loser. And I think the situation now even more awkward because he's got a Prime Minister down on his luck, fighting battles within his own party, all these scandals, and of course top of the list of things that journalists are bound to want to mention is Jeffrey Epstein, the E word, the word that the royal family doesn't want to mention, Donald Trump doesn't want to have mentioned, the Prime Minister doesn't want to have mentioned either, because only last week he ended up sacking the US ambassador Peter Mandelson over his links to Jeffrey Epstein. So I think the press conference, I think there'll be a lot of anxiety about just how that is going to go. Thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you for just staying here, apparently.
do. This is not purely business today. There's going to be a bit of entertainment as well, with some parachutists appearing from the skies to bring some glitz to the occasion. But there's going to be some serious business as well. There's going to be a lunch, a meeting with business leaders, and key business leaders, talking about that investment that you mentioned there, talking about the trade opportunities with eye-watering amounts of money that the government here is talking about coming this way in terms of investment. And then, of course, they will also discuss it.
Yeah.
Power supply.
I thought he was flying and then just being... Are we absolutely certain that he's being driven? Because we thought he was landing over there and... Sorry?
Lands there. That's why we're all lining up to get him landed.
Yeah, but now they're talking about him driving.
You've got to drive to the helicopter at the other end.
Well, no. They would have just landed in Windsor, wouldn't they? Like they did yesterday.
In the park, so we have to drive to Windsor Park, take off, fly here.
Is that what happened yesterday?
I think that's what they do. There's two bits, so there's one here and one there.
Okay. All right.